sports. Welcome to the Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on the Bottom Line.
And here we go, Friday, July 29, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, my friend. I'm just getting back from Rocket Mortgage golf outing. Didn't get a chance to see Nick Leach, but I probably will get a chance to see him a little bit later.
Is he
as
one
I'm
of the
going
golfers?
Back. He could be.
Is he out there?
He's 5 under.
He could. He's under 5 foot. No, but it's a fun event. But the interesting thing, and Nick Leach talked about it yesterday, so I want to steal his thunder, is when you don't have those major names, it's not as exciting. Now, the setup is exciting. People in Detroit are looking good. It's good to see Dan Gilbert put this on, so we have something. So we're on the board in the country. But I didn't hear any Bryson DeChambeau. I didn't hear any roars for Brooks Koepka. I didn't hear any roars for Dustin Johnson and his wife. I didn't hear anything about Phil Mickelson or Tiger Woods, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it's fun. It's some good golf. Just like in the NBA in the preseason. Like, there's some great basketball being played. But if it ain't LeBron, if it's not Damian Lillard, if it's not Cade Cunningham, who's a future star for us, you don't want to go see those games, and that's how it was. I was there more so rubbing elbows and having a good time with the people.
And that's really what it's about, too, because, so much of it, look, we love Rocket Mortgage. Everything they do for the city of Detroit, for so many people.
Bedrock is a part of Rocket Mortgage.
Absolutely. Yeah. You wish this tournament was a little bigger on the scene. Now, last year, it was you got a lot of talent there, but now all of those guys have gone to live. Yeah. All of those major names that came, and now Bubba Watson, who came to Detroit,
it's one of my favorite golfers, by the way,
is now going to live. So all of the quote unquote big name golfers, most of the big name golfers who made this for the last couple of years a regular appointment on their calendar are now at Live, and it's kind of dampened a little bit the excitement for the tournament.
And I keep using the term preseason, and we'll talk about somebody else who didn't go to Live shortly. But keep talking about the preseason. When you go to a preseason football game, okay, that's one of the reasons why I did like to play in the preseason, because people, those tickets cost the same in the preseason as they do in the regular season. Like, it doesn't matter if it's preseason, regular season, the tickets cost the same. So that's why I always try to play a little bit. But when you go to that fourth preseason game and nobody's playing, like, you're happy you're there, you're in the atmosphere, you're in the stadium. But if Jared Goff's not playing, DeAndre Swift's not playing, Jeff Okudah's not playing, Aiden Hutchinson's not playing, you're there, but now you're more so just there. Like, when you go to a golf outing and there's no running behind Ricky Fowler, who actually is there, but if there's no running behind the guys I said, Bubba Watson, the guys like Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, Henrik Stenson, and the list goes on. Like, it's just guys. And when I go to an event like that, if I'm paying all that money, because believe me, they are taxing to get in there, I don't want to go just see guys.
Right, no doubt about it. Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, boys. They're all just guys to me when Tiger's not there. That's the way I look at golf.
Yeah, but here in the city, I mean, I kind of do too, to some extent. And it's been... that's an old.
It's a fun event. My kids got to caddy the other night. The other day, they had a great time. I'm happy it's here. I hope it continues. I missed the old Buick Open back in the day up in Grand Blanc. So, hey, it's great to have an event here in Detroit.
Final day for Tom Mazawey before he goes on a week-long vacation next week. Maz, you excited for today, or are you checked out already?
No, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to stay with you guys. Let my family go on vacation.
No, you don't want to do that, man. So Braylon, I think you were outside at the Lady Jane's event when Neil Rule was telling Maz that he was going to New York City with his family next week. They were going to go to a Mets game and go to Broadway and do this and do that.
And eat.
Maz's eyes got so wide. You love that city.
I do.
You love that city. You got to go to Coney Island. You got to go to this. You got to go to that.
It's awesome. I'm sad I'm not going until September.
Yeah, there's no city like New York. And New York is it's the creme de la creme. I fell in love with New York before I played for the New York Jets. Before I was a Jet, I was in love with the city. I would spend all my extra time there when I wasn't in Miami. It's just something about when you get off that plane in LaGuardia or JFK or even Newark, you know you're close. You can feel the buildings, you see the buildings, you get close to the city, you see that drive in, you start to see the Hudson River, you start to see the bridges, the Washington, the George, the Brooklyn. You see these bridges, you cross the bridge, you hear the horns, you smell that exhaust, which smells nasty, but it's New York. You see the buildings. It's nothing more than I love than being on the blocks in New York and looking up. It's nothing. I look at that inverted angle of looking at buildings, and then you see history, and then you remember all the pictures that you've seen in hallways or office buildings or on TV or in movies, and you see those vantage points right in front of you. Who doesn't recognize that triangle building? The weird
Flatiron building.
The Flatiron building. And they use that in so many movies, so many TV shows, and architecture and design. So, New York just has that. This is it. This is our city. This is the city that made United States of America famous.
Amen to that.
I watched The Captain last night. They had 2 episodes on Derek Jeter.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. It was phenomenal. And, of course, they showed the 9/11, and, it's heartbreaking, and how the Yankees brought that city together, and a sin that they lost that World Series.
Arizona Diamondbacks.
What a sin.
Bob Brenly, right?
Bob Brenly. Luis Gonzalez.
Luis Gonzalez.
If they only played the infield back, it would have been out. They would have been out of the inning.
Incredible.
Out of the inning.
Joe Torre.
I hate playing the infield in. I hate the infield in.
It doesn't make much sense. Guys, we're going to talk some college football. Hour number 2, Mel Tucker spoke to the media at Big Ten Media Day. We will react to that. Cade McNamara also had some things to say. He believes it's his football team. No disrespect to anybody. We'll get Braylon's take on that. But first, we will start with the Detroit Lions. Kory Woods, our Woodward Sports Lions beat reporter, will join us at about 2:24. Dan Campbell spoke to the media today, Braylon, and there were some really good nuggets that come out of the press conference. I think each and every day that Dan Campbell speaks, there is. But I really like what they're doing now. He said 2-minute drills they usually do on day 5 of training camp. Today is day 3 of training camp. He's doing the 2-minute drill because he wants to see who the pressure guys are.
Yeah, it's all good.
And I'm looking for 2 things. Those guys that under pressure, man, they're cool and collective. Like we said, pressure goes up, your heart rate goes down. Who are those guys who can handle it and produce? Or who are the guys that, man, they just crumble under it. They just can't. They can be great for 3 quarters. That's awesome. But when it comes time and it's high pressure, they fold. Those guys will kill you. They just will. And I'd like to know that now before we get into a game. So, but that's on me to put them into that.
How great is that? Yeah. I mean, how great is that? Because there are players out there, and I'm sure you've played with your fair share, who are great 1, 2, and third quarter players. First, second, and third quarter players. Come fourth quarter, they fold. And then conversely, you know who you can count on when the fourth quarter comes. I love that the Lions are doing this, and it just kind of shows how far ahead they are this year as opposed to last. Dan Campbell was talking about in the second week of training camp last year, they were teaching the stances on the punt team.
Yeah.
Just how they wanted everybody to stance so they didn't trip over the next guy on the punt team.
Yeah, you're talking about 2 minutes. 2 minutes is where real men are born. Because in 2 minutes in first quarter, when it's first down, it's 15 minutes left in the first quarter or 12 minutes left in the second quarter, it's nothing on the line right then. You still had a ton of time in that game. But when it's 2 minutes, right before the end of the half, Brady talked about this on the show last year, Brady Quinn, right before the half or right before the end of the game, that's where men are born. That's so you know who are the guys I can trust, who are the guys I want to go in the foxhole with. Because when you get tired, see, it's easy running the route at the beginning of the game when you're fresh and you haven't spent your energy. And it's not summer, but it's the beginning of the season, and it's 95, but you're fresh. But when you get in that 2-minute scenario and you run 1 route and 2 routes and 3 routes, now can you catch the ball when you're tired? Can you get separation from the DB after you run 4 or 5 routes? When it's the end of the game, can you remember what side you're supposed to be on. On red, Liz, zipper right, Z hero. Can you remember what side you're supposed to be on? As a lineman, can you remember the protections? Can you remember the little nuances that we've talked about on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, during the week? Can you remember those things? Can you remember, oh, you know what, I know I play Z, but on this special play, I'm supposed to switch with the X. I got to go on this side. Quarterbacks, can you remember all the formations, all the calls, all the things we've been through? So I love that Dan Campbell is addressing this now, because two-minute drill decides a lot of games. Can you know where to go? Can you fight through being tired? Because everybody can do it when they're fresh. If me and you go out there right now, I catch 100 passes, no problem. But if you make me run from Maple to 14 and run back, now throw me 100 passes and see how many I can catch. So I love the fact that he's addressing that now.
I can't let that go by without addressing it. Red light, zipper, hero. What was your responsibility?
It's funny because it's actually not even a pass play. I come in motion, I crack the end. And usually as a big wide receiver, it worked for me a lot. Zipper is a Z return motion. It worked for me a lot as a big wide out till I played Clay Matthews. And then I said, you know what, don't have me run that play anymore. Clay Matthews almost bruised my sternum.
Did you think, does anybody come to mind, I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, go ahead.
But does anybody come to mind for you that you're like,
don't put me in the auto wheel?
Damn, that was a good, first, second, third quarter player, but come the fourth quarter, this guy folds like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, that's snitching. that is outright snitching.
Don't do it.
We had a guy, okay, and
what team?
Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
He was Cleveland Browns. He was drafted in 2006. A year after I got there, he was drafted wide receiver in the second round. And everybody thought that he was drafted to replace me because I tore my ACL my freshman year or my rookie year, and that couldn't have been further from the truth. But he actually out of Oklahoma, a lot of talent. The guy was good. The guy was solid when the pressure wasn't on him. When the pressure's on Braylon Edwards, or the pressure's on Kellen Winslow, or the pressure's on, Jamal Lewis and running back, when the pressure's on Joe Juravicious, who I love Joe Juravicious, by the way, Penn State guy, shout out to Joe Juravicious. But when the pressure's on those guys, he played well. He come in, he catch a pass, he come in, special play for him, he'd go for 40 or he'd go for 20, first down, big guy. When it was 2-minute drill, or if it was like third down and 10 and we're down, it's crunch time, man, don't put that guy in the game. Don't put that guy in the game.
I got to ask you about the NFL. We probably don't have time now, but NFL language. You have to learn a whole new language. I mean, the quarterback and the way he talks up and down the line and changing the play, and it's a whole new language. Am I not right?
It is. I think more so when I was playing and before me and before my father was playing, I think now it's caught up because high schoolers are mimicking college. You got middle schoolers are mimicking high school. So guys are learning that language a little bit faster nowadays. Guys are getting the playbooks and getting the programs. But, man, when it first get there, you got to learn how to learn the offense. It's like you have to learn it in increments. Like at first when you get there, when I first got to Michigan, I said, okay, I'm the Z wide receiver. What does the Z do? So I learned the Z, and then, towards the middle of the year, then I learned X, and then you learn inwards and out. Then you learn concepts. The smart individuals, they learn the concepts because the concepts never change. So if you call right spread weak, Badger open, well, I know what the concept is. I know that the outside guy, which is going to be the X, I know that guy has a hitch. I know the inside guy is going to have a corner if it's cover 2, or a cover 1. I know it's a post if it's cover 1. And I know the very inside guy, the third guy, is going to have flat route that he's going to turn to a wheel route. So if I learn the concept, it doesn't matter if you switch the sides or if you do whatever. The concept never changed. So if I know the concept and on a play where I'm Z, and Coach Carr, well, it wouldn't be Coach Carr, it'd be Scott Leffler. Leffler's like, hey, Braylon, I want you to go to F. Well, I know the concept. So it doesn't matter that I play Z. I know the concept is hitch, corner or post, and then inside seam from the far inside
better
guy.
Man than me.
So good.
You lost me.
So good. It's so good.
The smart ones learn the concept.
Kory Woods coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Next, though, you'll hear from Dan Campbell talking about DeAndre Swift, some of the things that they're going to do differently with him this year than they did a year ago. We'll get you up to date on that. All things Lions, college football, hour number 2. But first, a message from Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. And first, before I say that, let's get energized with Cintron, man. It's the summertime. It's trying to get energized now with Cintron. Pre-order, limited edition, 6-pack. That's right, the cranberry, the regular, as well as the sugar-free. If the sugar is too much for you, go to CentronWorld.com/Red Wings and get yourself an order of that six-pack right now. Centron wants to be here for the memories. They want to be here for the summer. They want to get you right, put a crown on your head. So go ahead and let them drink it, lit it with Centron.
Crown them.
Crown.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Something different, huh?
All summer long, the Monroe Street Midway is open in downtown Detroit. Enjoy basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more. A fun, safe event for everyone between the ages of 1 and 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. That is deckedoutdetroit.com.
He looks great. You know, I mean, he's, you guys know, Swift's an explosive athlete. He's phenomenal shape. And, I mean, I remember this time last year we were like, man, this guy's, wow, just the way he's wired, and he looks even better this year, just from a physical standpoint. He's great shape. So we got to have our eye on him, on just, man, we got to be smart with him. And, this first week is the reps are so much lighter that we weren't really going to worry about it right now. But as we start next week, there'll be things that we do with him just to try to maximize what we can get out of intensity and volume in a week for him, and be smart. And so there could be a little bit of, we ramp him up for a couple of days, back him off on the third day, but we're going to be smart with him, try to be, but yet still get him.
So I love this about Dan Campbell too, Braylon. This was really interesting, and we talk about accountability all the time. Dan Campbell is putting perhaps partly DeAndre Swift's injuries last year on him.
Yeah.
Saying we did not do a good job to get him ready. Last year he missed about a week and a half, 2 weeks of camp, and he wasn't ready for the season. And we put too much on him once the season started. So now what can we do this year better? He's like, we're going to ramp him up, and then we're going to peel him back for a couple of days. So if he's not doing practice one day, that's on us, not on him.
Yeah.
I really think that's part of the learning your players part too, that is so transparent. And I think when the coach or the leader or whoever, your boss, takes a little bit of the onus on them, again, this is about people here. This is about relationships. This is about trust. This is about, all of those things that you want in a leader, how to get your guys to rally behind somebody. This is the way to do it.
I love this, and let me tell you why I love this, Ryan. Let me tell you why I love this, Maz. Is I know everybody's like, oh, he always has a story for everything. Yeah, because I do.
That's why we come to you.
I feel like everything happened to me when I was in the league, so I can comment on it. But when I was with Cleveland, this would have been my 4th year with the Cleveland Browns. This would have been right after the Pro Bowl year. There were so many expectations. Derek Anderson was a Pro Bowler. Jamal Lewis should have been a Pro Bowler. Joe Thomas was the consummate Pro Bowler. Myself, Josh Cribbs was a Pro Bowler, and the list goes on. Going into training camp, right? And then we added Dante Stallworth, who was with the Patriots. They added Dante Stallworth, so we're excited. Like, this thing's about to get rocking and rolling. So in camp, Dante, after practices were over, we used to run gassers. Long story short, he steps on my Achilles. Doesn't tear my Achilles, but he tears my skin enough where you can see my Achilles. So,
wow.
So I got this lucky to tearing my Achilles. I was this close, right? So we kept having a bunch of staph infections at the time. So Cleveland was a very dirty place. In fact, Joe Jurevicius sued, and he was awarded money. I should have sued because I had staph infections.
That happened in Tampa, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were so scared of staph or MRSA, as it's also known, which is the more extreme version of it. So when my skin tore down to that level, they stitched it up, took me to the doctor, and they made me stay home. And this is training camp when it happened. This is like right after the first preseason training camp. We played the Jets, caught a touchdown on Revis. Things are going in the direction of the 2007 season. That happens. They keep me at home. The only thing I could do is when the team would go out to practice, they would have me come in from home. They would, change my bandaging. They would clean it up, and they would send me back home. So I was at home for 2.5 weeks, like while my stitchings and while everything like sewed back and once everything healed. Just imagine what I'm doing at home for 2.5. Luckily the Olympics are on, but I'm trying to like work out at high schools and do stuff. I'm trying to emulate what I saw, what I would be going. You can't do it. So finally, it's the preseason's over. They bring me back, say, okay, cool, you're healed. We can get you out there. I practiced that 1 week. And then they stick me out there, start as I always start. I wasn't not going to start against the Dallas Cowboys. I wasn't in rhythm. I was out of shape. I was out of the chemistry that I had with Derek Anderson. It took us 6 games to get in the chemistry. And by the time I was ready to roll, Derek Anderson was hurt. Now Brady Quinn's the quarterback. So I know that's a long story. But you got to protect the players. And I love that he said we didn't protect DeAndre like that because the Cleveland Browns didn't protect me. I shouldn't have been out there. And DeAndre should have been out there until he was ready. And they should have slowly but surely worked him in. But sometimes you got a guy that's a stud. Like DeAndre, he's a stud. He's the guy they drafted to be the guy. And sometimes you lean on that. But sometimes you got to take that step back and say, hey, are we putting him in a bad situation, or maybe can we ease him and ice him into it and then get this thing rolling? So I love that Dan Campbell says that. Says a lot about who he is. And we talked about it yesterday. He's learning. The things that he didn't know last year, he knows now, and he's ever evolving. So I really like this conversation.
I kind of get a sense, just off the top of my head, I feel like DeAndre Swift is the most talented offensive skill player since Calvin Johnson that the Lions have had. This guy could be a top 5 back in this league. Talent-wise. Can he stay healthy? We'll see. If used properly, we'll see. But I feel like he's got everything you could possibly want to be successful at a top 5, top 6 level at that position.
I'm going to tell you like this. This is a make-or-break year for the Detroit Lions as it relates to their offensive line and as it relates to DeAndre Swift. Everything you just said. DeAndre Swift is a guy that was able to have some injuries and stumble through last year, but you still saw flashes of the athletic ability. You still saw flashes of how good he was at Georgia in that backfield, Sony Michel as well. Now you got to go out there and prove it. Because Dan Campbell's coming out and saying last year we didn't necessarily protect you like we should have. But in this offseason, we protected you. We had the conversation. You know what we expect from you. People like Flannel Sam, who are smart individuals, are picking him to break out. Have over 1,500 yards from scrimmage, as he should. Behind that offensive line, hey, Taylor Decker, all right, man, it's time to get going. We paid you. One of the highest paid left tackles in the league, Frank Ragnow. You got hurt last year. It's good. We let you rest the whole year because we weren't that good. We knew that we wanted you to be healthy when we were ready to roll. Panay Sewell, we rotated you from left to right, right to left. Now you're playing right. We believe in you playing right. That offensive line has not been a top 10 offensive line since 1998. Well, guess what? They're getting paid like a top 10 line. They got a running back that could be a top 10 running back. So this year, the most important position for the Detroit Lions is a combo. It's the running back / offensive line position. They got to show up this year. That's the one non-compete. Y'all got to go out there and do it.
Let's face it, they haven't had a running game officially since Barry. I know Reggie Bush had a good year the 1 year he was here.
It was almost a combo between Bush and Joyke,
correct,
to be honest with you.
I think,
the numbers combined were good.
They were good, and the team wasn't good, obviously. But this is it, man. If you don't run the ball, you don't win. That's why I like the Packers so much, Ryan. I know you think they're a 7-win team. Mm-hmm. They have 2 great backs and a very good offensive line and a great quarterback. And that's what you need, and that's what the Lions have. I don't know about the quarterback, but they got the great offensive line. And this kid is built. He has taken care of his body. He looks like an Adonis. And I'm looking forward to what Kory tells me, how he looked today in full practice.
Kory's on the phone. We'll get to him next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of the house?
What does it say?
Tells the bad guys one thing: stay out.
Oh.
That's right. Whether you're at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call this number right now: 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Out. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports Center. We'll be right back with Kory Woods.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Sports
Friday.
Network. Friday. No, it's so great. I love this. This is a great day. Sunny, 80 degrees.
It's perfect out
Friday,
today.
Birmingham.
Perfect.
I mean, just it's so great.
How about that great contest Lady Jane's had
so
earlier?
Lady Jane's had their $100,000 giveaway today. You know, we've been talking about they're signing people up throughout the Metro Detroit stores here for a $100K giveaway. And then today the qualifiers came and had to perform a bunch of different things. I don't know how it ended up, but pretty good to see everybody out here and very festive and all that good stuff. Kory Woods is on the line right now. I believe he's on video, too. Kory Woods, our Woodward Sports Lions beat reporter. How you doing, Kory? What up, though?
There he is. What's going on, brother?
What up, Kory?
Kory, so one of the things that we were talking about today was, Dan Campbell this morning at the press conference says, usually on day 5 we do the 2-minute drills, but we're going to do it today on day 3 because I want to see who's going to fold under the pressure and who's going to step up under the pressure. Did you get any sense of that today, or how did that go today at practice?
Well, the first couple of days, they were just pretty light, basically walk-through stuff. It was just really light. Nothing to really report. I mean, outside of saying, hey, this guy was there, this guy was not there, this guy looked healthy or whatnot. But today they definitely ramped it up a lot more than they have over the past couple of days. One thing that I really paid attention to was something that we always been talking about, that backup quarterback situation, because we've seen what happened last season when Jared Goff went down. Tim Boyle did not look like he could be a viable backup option, same with David Blau. That right now has changed. Compared to this time last year, Jared Goff and Tim Boyle both look comfortable. Really, I want to talk about Tim Boyle because he last year, I said some things about that guy, but this time compared to last year, he looked a lot more comfortable. And just overall, you can see that they ramped up the intensity. They're getting ready for pads on Monday. That's when they're going to go full pads. But you can see right now today they ramped up the intensity, and that guys are really trying to get after it, even though they were not in full pads.
Let me ask you a question. Let me go back to Jared Goff on this. One thing about the 2-minute drill, Kory, Ryan, as well as Maz, is the better the quarterback, the more commanding the quarterback, the better the team does. It's very simple. You see the quarterbacks that have the winning drives, the all-time leaders, you see those guys. Well, those guys are damn good quarterbacks because they have their confidence. Kory, what did you see out of Jared Goff when he took his turn or two? Because I know they don't want the starting guys out there too much. How did he look as being in command of the offense and his presence with the first team?
Well, you know what? I was actually talking to Lomas Brown about this today. This time, I got to reference last year to kind of bring home my point. This time last year, when Jared Goff first arrived, I was saying that this guy the balls looked a little bit shaky when they were coming out of his hand. He looked a little kind of nervous out there in the pocket. This week, especially today, I'm seeing spirals, throwing it into tight coverage. confidence out there, great decision making. He looks like a different quarterback, and I think that is just off of being in Detroit for a second year, familiarity with Ben Johnson. He has better weapons. I feel he thinks right now this can be a real home for him. So he's looking like a very different Jared Goff than I've seen from last time. The thing that just really shines the most about Goff compared to last year, besides the throw, is the confidence. He's walking around like this, and I said it before, he's walking around like, I am the starting quarterback of the Lions. This is my team. We are about to get after it.
Let me ask you that, because we talked to you on Wednesday, and this will be a quick follow-up. We talked Wednesday, talked about what Dan Campbell said about the team coming back in phenomenal shape. We've talked about the videos that we watched of Aiden Hutchinson and DeAndre Swift getting after it. How do those guys look with pads on in the 2-minute drill and going through? Because now that it's serious, this is how you know if guys are really in shape. What'd you see?
Swift looked really good. I didn't have a really good angle on Hutchinson, but from the stuff that I did see him in his drills, he looked very fluid and mobile. The one guy that I saw that really kind of caught my eye was Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams was never like a big or a fat guy. I mean, he was in shape. But this year, he looks like he's got a little bit leaner and a hell of a lot quicker. I mean, when he was just shooting out like a rocket. So that is one guy that just really caught my eye.
So maybe that goes to what Dan Campbell was talking about in terms of using DeAndre Swift in a different way this year. Maybe he plans on using Jamal Williams as well. So I like the sound of that. 2 is better than 1, Maz.
Yeah.
Kory, go to the wide receivers for me, because there's a logjam of wide receivers. There might be a guy traded or even released on this, and this was a problem that they never had in the past. Back in the day, maybe in the 90s, but nowadays it's chock full, that wide receiver room. What'd you see today?
I saw obviously, I saw Jamison Williams didn't do too much. He's injured, he's walking around with the ball in his hand. But the one thing I just want to touch on this real quick, because everybody was talking about before about him not being happy there. Williams was walking around camp, all smiles, very engaged throughout, not just today, but throughout the whole week, in deep conversation with DJ Chark, Amon-Ra, Josh Reynolds, just pointing out things that's out there on the field, learning concepts. Amon-Ra talked today, and you gave him a glowing review about that as well. But guys I've seen out there that was really getting after was St. Brown, of course, DJ Chark, and Cephas. He's coming off of an injury, and he looks really damn good. So they have a lot of weapons potential weapons at that position. I mean, you're already talking about DJ Chark, Amon-Ra, Josh Reynolds. Then you got to go off of Quintez Cephas,
Khalif Raymond.
Khalif Raymond. I mean, somebody's not going to get some reps. It's that.
And it's funny because look, we're only through three days of training camp. Yeah, it is a good problem to have. We're only through 3 days of training camp. I don't want to go crazy here, but you talk Jamison Williams, you talk Amon-Ra, you talk DJ Chark, Quintez Cephas. Any buzz about Josh Reynolds? How he's looking at camp? I mean, he was one of the guys that came here last year and really helped Jared Goff. He seems to be the afterthought for most of us. Let's say this. For most of us, he seems to be the afterthought.
And I said that the other day on our Twitter. I said this is a guy that you should not sleep on, because granted, the Lions did upgrade at the wide receiver position, getting Chark, going ahead and trading up to get Williams. But Josh Reynolds is a Jared Goff guy. For most of his career, that was his quarterback. And that is something that you can't sleep on, because that chemistry and that bond is already established. You see what happened when the Lions got him off the waivers last year. Jared Goff looked a lot more comfortable taking those downfield shots because he had a guy that he's comfortable getting the ball to. As far as in training camp, he looked solid. He didn't do anything so far that was really oh man, eye-opening, he did that, or he looked good at this. He looked very solid, but that's really as about much as I can say about him. I think next week, when they really get after it with the full pass, we'll be able to have a real idea of who's doing what, especially when talking about a guy like him.
Kory Woods joining us, our Lions beat reporter. Kory, tell me about some of the injuries. I know he spoke of a couple of them. Bring us up to date, and maybe something on Pascal.
Well, Pascal, they said he had a sports hernia. They said it the other day he got he got the surgery for that in spring. Dan didn't provide a date. I don't think he remembers the date based on how he answered.
Is he there? Is he physically there, or he's just not there?
I saw him there. Yeah, I saw him.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I saw him today, but I know I saw him, during this week out there on the field. So yeah, he's definitely present. Devin Funches, he had a groin injury. He was still out there today though, but he didn't practice today. And Bell hurt himself yesterday in practice, so he didn't suit up today as well.
All right, Kory, bring us up to date on Hard Knocks. How much are you going to be on Hard Knocks? Because I'm looking forward to it, man. It's always a show I love. I'm really locked in this year. So how much FaceTime are you going to get?
I'll tell you this much. If I am on Hard Knocks, I will be actually surprised because those cameras are not based on any of the reporters, to my knowledge. I mean, they got a hell of a crew in there. I believe this morning in the media session, it was like maybe a 9-10-man crew in there. So it is very overwhelming compared to last year with the cameras. So, I mean, if I'm on there, it's probably they caught me in the background, or who knows, they may have sniped me out of nowhere. But I got the over-under at plus -1.
Hey, man, look, there's nothing wrong with the background. We saw Maz on Unrivaled, and he looked amazing. Let me ask you a question. You talked about Devin Funches, and we haven't brought him up because he's not necessarily a part of the key in terms of what we look at as analysts, but I think this guy could be something. I think he started off at the tight end position when he was at Michigan. He moved to the wide receiver position, and I think there's a space for him. T.J. Hockenson is looking for somebody. Each team you go to, they got 2 tight ends. Is there a space for Devin Funches to fit in and kind of be one of those unsung guys on this year's team?
I think he definitely has a chance to make it. I mean, you got to see. Remember, the Lions drafted James Mitchell to possibly be that guy to go ahead and back up Hockenson, but he's also coming off of an injury himself, and he was non-committal during minicamp about whether he would be ready by the season start. So I believe that is why they went out there and grabbed Funches so they can have some depth at that position. So I definitely think that there is a space for him to make the team. It's just all about whether he can do it. I mean, hopefully this groin injury that he's suffering right now is minor, or something that he'll be able to go either tomorrow or sometime next week when they get back in full pass. I believe there's a space for him there because when Hockenson went down, I mean, they were kind of like really thin at that position as far as quality.
Kory Woods, our Lions beat reporter. Thanks so much. Check Kory out, woodwardsports.com.
I like that setup, man.
On social media as well.
We're letting this one go, Braylon. I'm going to have to invite you somewhere else.
Hey, Kory, we'll talk to you again on Monday, okay?
All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Kory Woods. Check him out on social media as well. One of the things that Kory was talking about, and I wanted to hit you guys with next, too, the wide receiver position, they probably are going to have to let go a guy who could be a significant player in the NFL. I mean, the Lions have not had that problem. Dan Campbell talked about it today, and I'll tell you how he phrased it, but it's about the number of pros they have on their team. Want to do that next, but first a message from Gypsy Vodka.
The summer of Gypsy is here, and now, not just alcohol, not just bourbon, no. They're coming with the seltzer. 8% alcohol, introducing the Mulligan. If you guys are golfers, you guys can drink this in the bottle. It's smooth, but be careful. Be careful. You might get the whole 9 and it might be too late. Be careful with the Mulligan, but damn, it is smooth. Iced tea, lemonade, and mango. Support Michigan Distillers. That's right. Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys right up the road. Support them out of Petoskey, Michigan. Support the hometown and the home team. This stuff is smooth. You don't have to be at the golf course to drink it. You can drink it at the barbecue. You can drink it at home. But remember, wherever you drink it, please drink it responsibly.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Academy of Warren is currently enrolling for kindergarten through 8th grade. Academy of Warren features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, a futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. Speaking of athletics, Academy of Warren has a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome fieldhouse that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. So if you want to get your child enroll today at academyofwarren.net. That is academyofwarren.net.
.net.
I tell you what, I'm glad you brought him up because already after 2 days, it was spring in 2 days, we were talking about him. Shoot, last night we were talking about it. But I tell you what, he, even from this time last year, just, man, he feels like, he feels like a vet. He feels like a guy who he understands what he's capable of. He understands, what he's good at, what he can do, what he needs to work on. He's a pro right now. He's practicing like a pro. He did in the spring. He is. There's a comfort level. He's very confident, and it's good to see. Like we feel. I mean, this time last year we were looking for two corners. We didn't know, and we feel like, all right. This point, now it's early in camp and all that. He's got to prove it again. He knows that and continue to improve. But we feel pretty good about where he's at over there in that spot. So it was good to see him grow and develop at the rate that he did. He was having a hell of a year before the injury, and I would say he picked up right where he left off in spring and even the first 2 days.
Lions head coach Dan Campbell talking about the defensive back Amani Oruwariye.
Boom.
Who might be the best defensive player on this team.
It's not a stretch
this year, and that's not a stretch. Thank you for saying that. That is not a stretch to say. Before we pick up this conversation, Luis writes in the chat, "I live in Florida. Is there any way to order one of those Woodward Sports T-shirts since I just can't stop in at Big Frog?" Anybody got any answers for that?
I know we sell them online. On the website.
Woodwardsports.com. Go to the shop. Woodwardsports.com.
A lot of gear there.
Tons of Woodward Sports gear on that shop. Woodwardsports.com. And Luis, thank you for listening.
Look at you getting a compliment over there.
In Florida. Yeah, representing. This is Stick gave me a Woodward Sports shirt the first day we were on the air here, August 12th. And it really didn't fit me. It didn't look good on me at all. So I don't even know where it is now, but this is only the second Woodward Sports thing I've ever had.
This is the only thing I have, and it's from 2 Tiger opening days ago.
I need to shop at woodwardsports.com.
Sounds like you guys are snitching. Hey, check this out. Check this out. You said August 12th. Damn.
Anniversary coming up.
That's around the corner, man.
That's right.
It's around the corner. We've been at this for a year almost, man.
Look at that.
Wow.
And
my how time flies.
On to year 2
what kind of
coming
cake
up
we
here.
gonna have?
You're right. We'll have a cake.
There's a Kroger's right there. So.
Back to what Dan Campbell said. Amani Oruwariye. I think he potentially could be the best defensive player on this team. Bit of an unsung hero, or maybe a sung hero, for lack of a better way to say it. But in regards to Amani, Dan Campbell called him a pro. So earlier today, I was listening to the press conference, and you hear Dan Campbell say, at the start of training camp, we coaches get together, and the front office gets together, and you say to yourself, okay, who's a pro on this team? Who does everything right? Who's gonna, show up on time? Who's gonna do the meetings as a pro? Who can you count on? And then they're going through the list, and they're like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe the better way to ask this is, who's not a pro? And I think that's kind of where the roster is for the Lions right now. This roster is as good collectively as it's been in quite some time. And there are players, I think it was DJ Chark, who mentioned just how different it is here in Detroit, believe it or not, than it was in Jacksonville.
He said it was night and day.
Night and day, going to the meet, how we meet, how we do this, how we do that. And quite frankly, bring up your Marcus Pollard,
Marcus Pollard,
brother-in-law. That's what he said when he played here and when he played in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what you just meet differently. You go to the weight room differently in Indianapolis that you did here, and maybe the tide is turning a little bit at Allen Park.
Yeah, one of the first things I asked Marcus, because, you know, Marcus actually came to the draft when I got drafted in 05. I said, Marcus, wouldn't it be crazy if I get drafted by Detroit, man? If they pull a move and they move up, because I wasn't going 10th. But I was like, if they move up, he was like, you don't want to come here. You don't want to come here. And that always stuck with me. The consummate pro, what that means, Ryan, that means not just doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing. Like, anybody can do what you're supposed to do. So if meetings start at 9 and you show up at 8:59, well, technically you're on time. If you got to get a quick lift in after practice is over, you got to get 5 exercises in, and you go in there and you do 5 exercises, okay. Like, if you do the little things right, congratulations, you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. You're doing things in your contract. But when you're doing the little things, when you guys are meeting after practice, just amongst the position groups, just the wide receivers saying, hey, you know what? We missed a couple assignments today. Why don't we go in there and watch some film, kind of go over a couple things. Hey, you know what? We dropped a couple passes. Let's stay out extra 20 minutes and get on the jug machine and get after it. Hey, you know what? I noticed in the 2-minute drill, we were a little winded. You know what I'm saying? Why don't we stay after and run some gassers over and back afterwards? We'll stay away from Dante Stallworth if you do so. But run some gassers over and back to get in shape. Hey, you know what, guys? We got a scrimmage tomorrow. It's going to be a big scrimmage. Why don't we come in a little bit earlier tomorrow so we can kind of go over the first 10 plays? The first 8 as they're called, first 13 depending on the team. That's called being a pro. Wanting to do the little things, wanting to do the extra things to be good, to be better than you were last year. Because none of those guys on that team, none of them. And then DJ Chark came from Jacksonville, so he has nothing to say. None of those guys have anything. Gerard Davis, none of those guys have anything to say about being a stud or coming from somewhere or being this or being that, because last time I checked, you guys were on losing teams. So we're all in this together trying to get better. So when you get guys that want to take the extra step, want to do the little things that's called being a pro. Are you accountable? Can I look to my left and say, you know what, I trust that guy? Can I look to my right and I say, I trust that guy?
You mentioned Gerard Davis. He's one of the guys that I'd be interested in talking to and just seeing just how different it is now. We always talk about it appears different, how different he thinks it is now compared to his first go-around with the Detroit Lions. And then you wonder if he would have signed here if it wasn't different, if those guys weren't in charge.
That's real, and that was one of my preseason, well, not my preseason, one of my free agent moves or fantasies was bringing Quandre Diggs back so that you can ask him what is the difference. But now you got a guy in Gerard Davis, and he knows 2 different, I guess you could say dysfunctional situations. He knew the Lions when he was here with Quintricia, and he knew what was going on with the New York Jets. Now, New York Jets seem like they might be on the right path with Robert Saleh in that team, but it'd be interesting to just ask him, what are the changes? But we already know what the changes are. The players want to be here. So that tells me a lot. That tells me that the coaches believe in them. That tells me that the coaches are doing the right things. The players are coming back early. You don't come back early from vacation. Let me go there. I know I'm talking a lot today, but I'm on fire.
You're good, man.
You don't come back from vacation early unless you believe in the place you're at, unless you like the structure they have, unless you're in love with your teammates, unless you're in love with your brothers. And it's Detroit. It's not like you're talking about coming back early to Jacksonville. Well, at least the weather's nice. Like, you're talking about coming back early to Detroit. Most guys vacation in Miami or Florida or California or Arizona. You're talking about coming back to Detroit. It's still cold in March. There's still snow on the ground in March. The roads are still cracking from ice. Like, all that's going on in Allen Park. All that's going on in Detroit. You want to go out to nice restaurants? Well, you got to wear a jacket because ain't no seating outside here. This ain't Arizona. So the fact that guys are coming back and they were chomping at the bit, Tracy Walker talked about it, getting ready for this season, that lets you know a lot more than you think.
All right, guys. Dan Campbell talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to make a statement about him. His numbers are going to be less than last year, I think, but he's going to be a better player. I want to get your reaction to that. You'll hear from Dan Campbell. We'll do it next, but first a message from MyBookie.
All right, and get those over-unders going on that football season, and baseball back in full swing. The trade deadline coming in. Get it all on mybookie.ag, mybookie.com. Use the promo code Woodward. That's right, Woodward will double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's right, that's all it takes. MyBookie and Woodward, a perfect combination. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring him up because you're like, holy crap, well, look at... Everybody grows at a different rate, right? And I would say the jump he made, we were fortunate that it happened as soon as it happened. And I think ultimately that's kind of what you're looking for. So if you really want to detail it, it's like, man, Amon-Ra hit his jump by the end of the year. I would say Sewell did somewhat as well. And that doesn't always happen. Usually it does take year one to year two before you get that kind of jump, like what. And so it may not be as big, but it's already transpired towards the end of last year. But I do see continued growth. Now, I can't put that in production either. As far as, hey man, he's going to get 10 catches every game this year. You know, I think the hope is that we've got enough weapons and enough arsenal here that we're able to spread this around and the production gets spread out even, and it's more. It could be a game, it could be every game, it could be, but maybe it's Hawk, maybe it's Shark, maybe it's Reynolds. But he'll be steady and consistent, and whenever you need him, you got him, and he's going to make the plays for you. So we'll see. But even if he didn't have that kind of production again, I'm hoping if he doesn't, that's because we got people around him that are helping.
And that's Dan Campbell talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yo, you keep talking about the family aspect of the Lions and how they feel like they are family because they are family. Speaking of family, shout out to my grandma who's watching right now. I got a text from mom, so I want to say shout out to my grandma Mary. What's up, grandma? As well as my uncle Walter. So, a little love for the family on a beautiful Friday. Mom's always watching.
Grandma Mary?
Grandma Mary.
And Uncle Walter?
Uncle Wally.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Malin. That's how my uncle
Thanks for supporting Braylon Edwards. We love him here.
But, yeah, you talk about Amon-Ra taking the next step, and you say he's actually going to take a step back and be a better player. I agree. I definitely agree. I'll bring it back full circle. Like, I had 16 touchdowns, Pro Bowl, 1,300, all that with Cleveland. I was a better player with the Jets, and I had 900 yards and 7 touchdowns. My stats didn't match up to the Cleveland stats, but I was a better player. I was more willing to run that deeper route for my teammate. I was catching everything with my hands. I was running better routes. I was blocking my ass off. I was doing the things that make you...
Hey, Grandma's watching. Clean it up.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Grandma. My butt. I was doing the things that made me a consummate pro, the things that we talk about. So I took steps in terms of my growth as a player, but the stats suffer. But guess what? When you're winning, like Lloyd always told me, when you're winning, everybody wins. So it doesn't matter about the individual accolades. He's going to take steps forward as a player this year. But because they're loaded on an offensive side of the ball, probably going to be a run-heavy first team. He's not going to have that 90 catches.
Yep.
But that joker still is going to have 75. But he's going to be a damn good player.
That's just it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 90 catches, 912 yards, 5 touchdowns last year. Led the Lions in all 3 categories. In fact, the next player, 28 catches behind him, was DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. T.J. Hawkinson caught 61 balls. There wasn't another wide receiver. Khalif Raymond caught 48 balls.
Yeah.
That's wide receiver number 2. Half as much as Amon-Ra St. Brown last year. So I don't think he'll have a repeat performance like that. He doesn't have to, but yet and still I think he'll be a better player. And it plays to the inconsistency of the offense last year. It plays to the inconsistency of the offense line, plays to the running backs being injured, going in and out, also plays to who's playing wide receiver at the time. So I think that he'll be able to get back to 90 catches once they establish their offense. Like once they figure out, hey, who are the 4 wide receivers? Hey, who are our tight ends? I mean, well, we know who the tight end is, but with the other tight end, who are our 4 wide receivers? Go from there. Now we got our tight end. The running back situation, how are we working it with Jamal as well as DeAndre Swift, who's going to be the starter? Once they get the guys and go from there, then the production will go up. But I think you'll see them trying to figure out what's our system, what's our identity going into the beginning of the season. Dan Campbell talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown taking that big jump at the end of the year, second half of the year. Most players have to wait until year 2. Most rookies have to wait until year 2 before they take off. Here's what Amon-Ra St. Brown says about his upcoming year 2 in the NFL.
Year 2 is definitely, a lot of players say this is the year we get better, year for improvement. So for me, having that year under my belt, it really helps me, experience-wise, knowing what I'm going to see out there, play speed-wise. So I'm going into this season, I would say, more confident, ready to go, knowing what to expect, and ready to turn up even more.
The guys just feel different.
Yeah. They feel mature.
And
as
look,
hell.
It's no different in any job. I mean, we've been doing this for a year now. On August 12th, it'll be a year. I feel more confident coming into this studio every day. I've been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
But doing this the first year, you're figuring things out. What do you want to do? It's no different from a player, I would imagine, in terms of the confidence level. Yeah. I mean, coming in now, we know the kind of show we want to put on. You've got to feel the same way heading into year 2 for us. And no different as a player.
I definitely feel the same going into year 2 for us. I kind of feel like we got drafted at the same time as Amon-Ra St. Brown. We're in the same draft class as us. But I think the big thing that you got to remember, and Amon-Ra, if you ever watch it, if you watch our show, check it out. We vibe with you. We rock with you. I'll give you some advice. And it seems like you already have it. You don't have to take it if you do. Is you can't just expect things to get better year 2 because it's year 2. You can't expect because last year I did this. Well, the natural order of things is to get better because it's not. The natural order of things is to know how to get better. The natural order of things is to know what you did to have that success and what you can do to have more success. That's the natural order of things, but you got to go out there and do it. You got to do the things. You got to put in the work. If we want to have a better show, like I know the things I did last year. I know when I'm on my game, I know I'm researching. I know I'm looking at baseball stats. I'm learning little nuances so I can do that. I'm learning football. What's in the general office? What's in the front office? How do contracts and taxes work? 'Cause I didn't know that last year, but now I'm reading some things so I can kind of tell you how a contract is broken down, how they can do these picks where they're giving the picks in 27 and it's only 2022. You got to put in the necessary work, do the research so that you can get better. It just doesn't happen because you walk into year 2. You got to put in more work and learn from your mistakes in year 1.
And Maz, this is a young team still that those guys are trying to take that next step.
Oh, and they are going to. 3-win team last year. Like they said, they were in 8 games. Could have won 8 games. Really, literally could have won 8 games. And a lot of people are expecting them to at least win 6. Some people got them winning 8. You have them winning 10. They probably believe the same thing. Dan Campbell has got this team believing. Deuce Staley has his running backs believing. Aubrey Pleasant has his defensive backs believing. Aaron Glenn has his whole defense believing. This could be his last year here in Detroit. He's looked at as a head coach.
To be honest with you, I was thinking about this morning. I hope this is Aaron Glenn's last year, because if it is, if he becomes a head coach, for darn sure that this 2022 version of the Detroit Lions was a good one. And that defense played their tails off. And if this defense plays their tails off and they help them win some games, that's only good for the Detroit Lions. You want to get to a point where you're kind of like Nick Saban at Alabama. You're replacing your coordinators every year. At New England, Sean McVay is replacing his coordinators
Shanahan, they're
every
falling
year.
off quick.
All of these good NFL teams, all of these good college programs have to do that every year because they win. And when you win, people want what you have.
Look what Harbs is doing with his coordinators.
That's exactly
picking him right out of his brother's backyard.
No doubt.
Yeah, I like that, and especially on defensive ball for the Detroit Lions. Now, look, I'm gonna be a little selfish. I want Glenn for 2 years.
Yeah.
I need it for one more. I need this year, and then I think that real breakthrough year is gonna be the following year. So, Aaron, don't go. Don't leave us.
Yeah, don't leave
but
us.
I agree with you 100%. You're setting a precedent. You're setting a standard, kind of like Sean McVay. Like, now these offensive guys are falling right off that tree, whether it's Brandon Staley, whether it's Kevin O'Connell with the Minnesota Vikings, whether it's the coach down there with the Cincinnati Bengals, who name a loser right now, and I apologize. But you want that to be the case. Aaron Glenn's the guy. Now he leaves. Aubrey President becomes the defensive back coach. Now he leaves in 2 years, and the next guy. You want to set that system because that's how you have sustained success. Because the Rams, they're not recreating the wheel every year. They're not recreating the wheel. They're bringing these guys in right after these guys fall off, and they're having the same similar type of success, and then they're going on to other teams. I want to emulate that success. And guess what? Brad Holmes is here. Came from Los Angeles. Zach Taylor's the other guy. I appreciate you, man.
Without question. Guys, we're going to move on to the college football arena when we come back. Hour number 2 of the program. Mel Tucker had some interesting things to say at Big Ten Media Day. We'll talk about that. Plus, Cade McNamara says it is his team. Michigan State, Michigan talk when we come back. But first, a message from SMA.
SMA, the sports marketing agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Sean Jordan has done an amazing job creating this platform. And on his platform he has created This Is the F Word, and the F Word stands for fentanyl. Talking about addiction, tackling addiction, if you will, tackling mental health, just opening up the conversation, giving you information, letting you know it is okay to not be okay. A lot of times you feel like it's just you. A lot of times you feel like you can't talk to anybody. Well, guess what? You can be anonymous as you want to, but everybody needs help. Don't ever forget that. Go to thesportsma.com. They are here for you.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions
uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in and tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
For us, it was just really a step in the right direction. That's really what it was. We did some good things, but nobody cares what you did last year. We certainly don't. We got a lot of work to do. We have improved tremendously this out of season. On the field and off the field. We are extremely hungry, and we do have a chip on our shoulder. We've got a lot to prove. We have a very high standard of performance, and we have decided as a program to attack that standard every single day. There's a lot of work being done in East Lansing right now as we speak. We're actually putting the work in. We're chopping wood every day, and the goal for us is to win every game on our schedule. That's our stated goal. Our goal is to finish first. That's our goal. And we need to bring a championship to East Lansing. So that's what this is all about. I feel really good about this upcoming season.
Man. Yeah. I hate to admit it, but I do like him.
Nothing wrong with liking the guy.
I do like him. I do. I think he is.
He's cool.
Got everything possibly could want to build a championship program. If you are watching on YouTube, thanks so much. We certainly appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like button. I have not asked for likes today. I am doing that now. Go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get to over 100 by the end of this segment, if that is possible. Also, we are just over 500 subscribers shy of 30,000 for the network. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Share the show with your friends. Let them know we're here. I think we've got some good content coming this football season, and we hope you're around, and we hope your friends are around too. Back to Michigan State, Braylon Edwards. There is something about Mel Tucker that draws you to that program. Now, their fan base I hate. I cannot stand the fan base.
I would agree.
But I don't hate them. I don't hate you. I don't hate anybody.
It's a good rivalry.
It takes too much energy to hate.
It's football hate.
It's football hate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a good rivalry.
It's a good rivalry.
It's a good rivalry.
But he's got everything you possibly could want to build a championship program, and he's got the resources too.
He's smooth as silk, man. Like, he's smooth as silk. He sat up there with a suit. Suit was clean. He had a nice fresh shave. Looked good. Said the things possible. And the good thing about him, I think this is why you like him as well, and Michigan State fans should really, really treasure him, is it doesn't sound like a line. Like, you know, some guys get up there and it sounds like a line. Like, I was watching Jimbo Fisher talk the other day, and he was selling himself on Colin Cowherd, and he sold Texas A&M, but it just seemed like a line. It seemed like trying to get you in. Like, what he's saying at that podium, Mel Tucker believes in that. Mel Tucker is trying to achieve that. Mel Tucker's players knows he's trying to achieve that. I told you I was with Mel Tucker in Cleveland. When I got drafted to the Cleveland Browns, Mel Tucker was the defensive he was a D-back coach. Was with him 4.5 years. I know he cares deeply about the players that he had. His defensive backs, there's nothing that he wouldn't do for them. Now he's a head coach. Now he's the head man. So I know there's nothing that he wouldn't do for those kids. And players feel that. Like, when you're 18, you're 19, you're looking for guidance. You're still in that phase where you want to be guided. You're looking for a coach to take you by the wings and guide you, and that's what he's doing. He's leading his players in the war. And I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year, but I think he's building a culture where you give it this year, and then next year, I don't think Michigan State will fall off, for a very, very, very long time. But that's a guy that those guys want to play for and those guys want to fight for. Because that type of inspiritedness that he gives them, I don't even know if that's a word, I made it up. But that type of spirit that he gives them, they'll win a lot of games they shouldn't win because they believe in each other and they believe in the message that he sends out there.
One of the cool things about Mel Tucker, too, and Braylon, you just said it, and I think a lot of Michigan State fans, if they were honest with ththemselves, probably would say we're going to take a step back this year in terms of wins. Are they going to be 10-2 again this year? Probably not. Maybe 9-3, 8-4, whatever the case may be.
They were 11-3
I think the
last
prevailing
year.
thought is, fair or unfair, I think it's fair to assume that you take a step back this year, but he's not saying that. I love that.
Yeah.
His expectation is to finish first and to win a championship. I love that. That's what you want from your coach. You don't want your coach to give years away. Oh, we're just going to do it. But no, our freaking goal is to finish first and win a championship. And if we fall short of that, then it's a disappointing season. That's what the mindset has to be for a championship program. And I do think eventually, and they were damn close to that last year, Mel Tucker will bring a championship. I don't know when, but I think he will eventually bring a championship to East Lansing. You don't give years away. You don't even let it creep into your mind that this is a rebuilding year or a reloading year, however you want to phrase it. No, our goal is to finish first.
Taking a step back doesn't necessarily mean taking a step back from who we are. It doesn't mean taking a step back from what we believe in East Lansing. In Spartan Stadium. It doesn't take away from that. It doesn't take away from saying, we can go and compete with anybody. That's not the setback that I'm talking about. I'm just saying they lost Cade, who was the best running back in college football last year. One of the best running backs to come through in terms of one season in Big Ten history. They lost that guy. That guy won them games. They don't win the Michigan game without Cade. So I'm not saying they're going to take a step back in terms of their identity. I'm not saying they're going to take a step back in terms of what they're being instilled by with Mel Tucker. I'm just saying win totals, they'll take a step back. Not necessarily.
I totally agree with what you're saying.
I agree with you as well.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm just as a leader of a program. I don't think you can ever let that out.
Yeah.
Because when you walk into the building, is it still Duffy Doherty over there at Michigan State, or is it what do you call it? Is it
it's East Lansing?
No, is it,
I think it's the Izzone.
No, is it the UWF building?
Yes, the UWF.
There you go.
That's the Ishbia.
Right, it's at the Ishbia Sports Complex.
Because realistically, you can be great and take a step back. And to your point, Alabama this year is favored to win the national championship for the millionth time in the last 12 years. Their secondary isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know when's the last time that you can say Alabama doesn't have a secondary. They legitimately send somebody in the first round every year, send a couple guys in the first round or second round. Their secondary isn't good. But they're not saying, hey, you know what? We took a step back in the secondary. No, he went out there and replaced them. He went to Georgia. He went to Auburn. He went to Cal. He went and pulled players. He bought some guys in as freshmen. He went and pulled some guys to put in the secondary so that he could still go out and challenge for a national championship. They ain't taking no steps back. But that position right now isn't a strong one for him. So you can take a step back without taking a step back, but the mindset should never take a step back.
And look, as long as you got a quarterback, you're going to be in the game. Right? And Michigan State has a quarterback this year. They've got one of the most electric wide receivers this year. They've got talent on offense.
Xavier Henderson is there as well.
Absolutely. On the defensive side of the ball. See, we do know the names of the defensive players.
They got the two. You got running back side of the transfer portal. Right. Once again, Mel Tucker's using that transfer portal. You bring in Wisconsin, you bring it up. So if doing the things the right way and the mindset is sharp. The mindset is about as good as it's ever been in East Lansing, maybe since 2015 under D'Antonio.
No doubt. And look, I don't like the one part about Mel Tucker that I don't like.
Is that $10 million contract?
No. It's always as Michigan State fans or Michigan State, not fans because he's the head coach of the team. It's always the woe is us. It's we've got a chip on our shoulders. We don't get any respect, yada, yada. I mean...
that's the D'Antonio school.
That's like 50 years in the making. You know, at some point, you got your respect. We respect you. Everybody respects Michigan State's program.
Nobody
and
did
that. If you don't respect Michigan State's program, you're an idiot.
But hey, look, but at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've used that rallying cry for years, and it works. I hate it. You hate it, but I understand why they use it because I saw it work. Like when you see something work and you see something play out, it's like, I hate it. But at the same time, it's like going to Wisconsin. I hate Wisconsin's I hate what they do. The offensive line, their identity. Oh my God, yes, they're going to run the ball again. Well, they're averaging 1,500 yards a year per rusher, so it works. It works for them as a rallying cry. Do I like it? No, but guess what? It works.
Cade McNamara says this is his team. There is no quarterback controversy. Ooh. You'll hear from him next. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
And Hamtramck and other spots as well. I'm telling you about Hamtramck because that's my favorite place. It's awesome. It's huge. You can get in there and a couple of ways to play this great game of football and bowling. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 10 or 12 of your friends on a lane for your own for 2 hours. Costs you $120, but it's less than $10 per person. How about bringing your own food in, have it delivered? They don't mind. Spread on out there. Plenty of room, plenty of TVs to chill. And how about the drinks? They've got multiple full bars and over 100 beers to offer and the $2 mystery beer machine. Get your Foal on. With more information, check out FoalingWarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a
chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long via the High School Summer Pass, and it goes all the way through August 31st. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere with membership starting at only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10. What a deal. Hey, or you can get a black card for $24.99 per month. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
I feel like it's my team. I feel like nothing against anyone. I just think, I've put myself in a position that, if I say something, it will be listened to.
And we're back. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I heard
I couldn't
Cade.
hear it in my ear. Okay.
I heard Cade.
I mean, I heard it earlier.
Cade said it's his team and people are going to listen to him. There should not be a controversy.
When he talks, people listen, thinks he did enough last year to where this is his team. I love the confidence by him. At this point, I'm going to take Jim Harbaugh at his word, Braylon, and the best guy's going to play. That's all. Just play the best guy. No favorites. Who cares who's a five-star? If Cade is the best quarterback, play Cade. If JJ is the best quarterback, play JJ. I think the big concern is for us. Do we believe our head coach, Jim Harbaugh, is the type of guy that is just going to play the best talent at that position, or do you feel like you owe it to Cade? Do you owe it to who do you owe it to? You don't owe nothing to nobody.
In the words of Rocky Balboa,
yeah,
nobody owe nobody.
Right.
At the end of the day, there's more that goes into who's the best quarterback than just who has the best arm, who's the fastest. You know what I'm saying? Who's the tallest? Like, there's leadership capabilities. Who's the best leader of men? Who's the guy that commands the most presence when he's in the huddle? Who's the guy that when you look in his eyes in that huddle, and it's the fourth quarter, and it's 4th and 4 in the horseshoe, and you need 5 yards, who's the guy that has blue twisted steel in his eyes, as Lloyd Carr used to call it? Blue twisted steel. Who's got that look in his eyes in the fourth quarter at the shoe? So all those, and then decision making. Who's going to make the best decisions? Who's going to be the guy? As I'm talking last year, Cade McNamara got those guys to Indianapolis. Cade McNamara got those guys. I mean, with the rest of the team, but Cade's the guy that led those guys in the battle. And Indianapolis came home with the trophy, led those guys to the Orange Bowl. So he should go into the season as a starting quarterback. Like he should, unless he just takes some major steps back and the competition gets to him and he has a nagging injury or something that we don't know about. Cade should start the season off as the quarterback, because all those guys that we talked to last year, they talked about Cade going into last season. The things that he was doing in training camp, in summer program, hanging out on the golf course, bonding with guys, but then going out, they said that's the guy they believe in. And then that's his attitude. He's like, look, I won the Big Ten championship last year. And there's no I in team, but you get what I'm saying. He was like, I was the quarterback when we won the championship last year. He should have that attitude. It is his team. Barring something that we don't see, Cade should enter the season as a starting quarterback. Now, with that being said, Jim Harbaugh, you got a taste of it last year. You got to the Orange Bowl. We got to the playoffs. You won the Big Ten. You beat Ohio State convincingly. But with that said, your job isn't to hold guys' hands. Like, we are not in the business of holding hands, and nor should we be. So with that being said, you get in that season, Cade starts to struggle a little bit, and then he can't get out of that funk. Your job is to help, see if he can. And if he can't, you got to put the next guy in. So Cade should have the job. Jim shouldn't have to hold anybody's hand. But Jim, I'm just saying, pay close attention, which I think he will.
You would think that Jim Harbaugh, Captain Comeback himself, great quarterback in his own right. He could
Fourth
get this.
in the Heisman.
He could get this thing right. And last year it worked, but I don't think you could keep playing around with two quarterbacks. I just don't, and I don't like it as a Michigan fan. I truly don't.
The only people that don't like it is us. The only people
I don't know.
The only people that don't like it is us. Cade says it's his team, right? JJ said he loves Michigan. JJ's still doing everything that he's supposed to do. Jim said he's going to have a quarterback. He's going to open it up, and the best guy will start. The best guy will be starting, and opening day, the best guy will play. How about we do something that we never do as fans? How about we just listen? As opposed to keeping on, we're the ones keeping the controversy going. Like they start.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Jim Harbaugh just this week says Cade McNamara will be very difficult to beat out at starting quarterback. JJ Redick will be very difficult.
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
JJ Redick will be difficult to beat in three-point contest.
No, I mean Jim Harbaugh, the head coach himself, said Cade's going to be hard to beat out for the starting job, and JJ's going to be hard to beat out for the starting job. So he just admitted that there is a quarterback competition, and the best player will play. So I don't know if that's us,
right?
Trying to figure that out. Look, I can only tell you what my eyes see. And I did see something out of Cade McNamara in road games last year specifically. What's the game last year? I'm thinking Nebraska. Thank you.
And Penn State.
Those two games.
And Iowa.
Iowa was a blowout from the beginning.
Yeah, but Cade was ugly.
But at the end of the games in the fourth quarter on the road, you have got to give Cade McNamara his due. I don't know what JJ would do in those situations. We have not seen it, but maybe Michigan wouldn't be in those positions if JJ was able to play the first three quarters.
Yeah.
And he could sling the ball all over the place. Or one of the big problems I had with Cade McNamara last year was how many times on RPOs, run pass options, did he give it up the middle instead of tucking that ball and running around the end. Wide open spaces.
Here's another thing that we don't talk about.
In fact, I don't think he ever pulled one back and ran.
No, you're right. He definitely wasn't a pullback guy. He wasn't the guy that trusted his speed or lack thereof. But there's one thing that we haven't talked about. Like every time we talk about these conversations, it only comes up one time, and it's if JJ. Now you got me saying if JJ McCarthy is going to transfer. It's the only time we talk about it. Cade McNamara was still young last year. Yeah, that's the one thing we'll talk about. Cade McNamara was still learning the game last year. Then he was still learning after injuries and other guys. He's learning the game. When you're a run-first team, you got to learn the game because you're not passing a lot. You're trying to figure it out. All you're doing is handing off and then play action and throwing it off. Those guys are making the plays for you. Now insert him. Full year started for. Big Ten championship guy entering his junior year. He still has another year after this. Don't you think that he's going to take a step further and be better than he was last year? We're still judging him on his sophomore year. He's a sophomore.
Yeah, you're right.
I know a lot of guys his sophomore year that didn't look that good, that weren't that polished. John Navarre being one of them. But I saw a jump in John Navarre from sophomore to junior year, and then I saw a tremendous jump in John from junior to senior year. So I think we got to push back just a little bit. Because Cade's still a young guy figuring it out.
I don't disagree with you, and I think most of us are being extremely unfair to Cade McNamara. I think I am being unfair to Cade McNamara. I get it, but you want to find out who the best player is. I just don't know if you find out who the best player is against Colorado, Hawaii, UConn. Those first three games. Are you really going to be slinging it around in the fourth quarter with your ones when JJ's in the game? Or are you going to run the ball 50 times in the second half against Hawaii? Are you going to run the ball 50 times against UConn?
But at the same time, you can see a difference between a guy from year one and year two. Like that's a thing. Yes, Colorado's nothing to write home about. Neither is Hawaii. Neither is none of those teams. They should start off 5-0, 6, 7, 8, 8-0. We get that. But you see a difference in terms of decision making. You see how crisp a pass is. You see how fast he made the read. He knew that it was cover 3. The defensive back was off, so he threw the quick out. He threw the out route. expecting where his wide receiver is going to be. You can see that change from year 1 to year 2. And your thing, the RPO, it don't matter who you play. If he puts the RPO in Donovan Edwards' hand, or he puts the ball in Blake Corum's chest, and then he's like, you know what? I see that Mike linebacker coming off the edge. Ooh, I'm going to keep it and take off. You can see that against bums if his decision-making is better than it was the year before.
Look, yeah, and I can just tell you what my eyes see. I think JJ is a more talented quarterback, but more talent doesn't always mean better.
Drew was more talented than Tom, and that ain't even close.
That's what I'm saying. Just more talent does not always mean better.
I remember a lot of people thought Brian Griese was just going to, what are you going to do after your college career is over? There were a lot of people didn't think he was going to get drafted and go play good quality years in the NFL. Now he's a quarterback coach.
I want to say he might have
the 49ers.
He might have almost made the Pro Bowl one year.
You're right, with Denver.
Yeah.
Guys, one of the things I want to do next, this Fox College Football put together a survey of 1,000 high school football players. So 1,000, if you're a high school football player, you're between the ages of 14 and 17, right? The college football brand rankings. Who are the most recognizable brands, not in the history of college football, but just to these high school football players?
Oh, okay.
How about that? Yeah. I think this is really cool and really interesting. We'll reveal that to you next. But first, a message from Les Stanford. It is no secret new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Allocation rolling in. You can head there right now and drive off in a new Chevy or Cadillac off the lot today. Over 300 pre-owned vehicles on their lot as well. Many of them like new. Head over to LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Friday, last weekend in July. You know what that means? We're coming into August, and it's football time. So listen, we're going to get you ready for your fantasy football draft, so make sure you join us at the Woodward Bets YouTube page at 4:30. You also got to make sure you check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, we want winners. That's all we're here for. So listen, let's bet on the Astros and JV. JV's won his last 7 out of 8 starts. Robbie Ray's been struggling. 9 earned runs the last 9 innings. Sounds good to me. Woodward Bets, oddstrader.com. Check it out.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Braylon Edwards here. Bottom line, Ryan Amani. Braylon Edwards stalling for time right now. Maz, tell me about what are you going to do on this beautiful Friday? Because it seems like the weather has cooled off a little bit, so it's not spicy like it has been. It's a nice, beautiful day. What's a good Friday look like for you?
I'm going to go home and pack for my vacation. My least favorite thing. My least favorite thing in the world.
Packing
to do.
or the vacation?
Packing.
I hate unpacking.
Usually my vacation, I go to New Jersey, see my family. This year, my wife wanted to take a family trip with the girls. And we always take road trips to go east.
Where are we going?
This time, we are going west. We are going out to venture out to a few places and wind up at Mount Rushmore.
The Black Hills of North Dakota.
South Dakota,
excuse me.
We're going out
to the Black Hills.
Going out to the Black Hills and do some sightseeing.
How long of a drive is that?
Well, we're not going to go straight, but it's about 17 hours, maybe 18 hours.
Now, will you guys kill each other on that?
No. We're good. We're used to the car.
Yeah.
So my kids, since they were little, have been brought up in the car, in the van.
That's great.
You want a little Mount Rushmore tree?
Yeah.
A little history, some facts.
Let's go.
Yes.
So one created by Braylon Edwards, who didn't finish them. His son actually finished them because World War II happened, so they ran out of funding. So they had to put a pause on that. His son ended up finishing. They also did Stone Mountain in down there in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Also, they created that hole, like in the movie as they show you. That's where they wanted to put a bunch of documents. They wanted to put like a lot of the treasures and the documents held by the United States of America. So it was built to hide some things. That's false stuff, but it was built, and also in the ear they have the tunnel room where they're going to put all the documents of the United States of America.
Just like a national treasure?
Just kind of like, national treasure.
I can't wait. They're making another one, by the way.
Yeah, it looked awful. I don't know. So Cibola was a myth per se, but the document side of things was factual. Braylon Edwards, he started it, and then they ran out of funding with World War II, and then his son had to come back and ultimately finish
What souvenir you guys want? Bring you back a rock or something? What do you want?
George Washington.
You want G-Dub? What do you want, Bray? You want me to bring you home
Give
something?
me like a miniature Mount Rushmore. They sell those.
Who's
like
on Mount Rushmore?
Thomas Jefferson,
G-Dub.
Lincoln, G-Dub, and Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
I love that. I love that.
Stop playing with me, baby. Stop playing with me, baby. Founder of the National Parks, the United States of America, Theodore Roosevelt, and the Suez Canal.
Look at this guy.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Okay, no, go ahead.
I love it.
Is that that's that Michigan education?
No, that's the Catholic school my mom paid for.
All
That's
right.
what's up. Hey guys, Fox College Football put out a list of. They did a survey of 1,000 high school football players.
Yeah.
If you're playing high school football freshman year or senior year, you're 14 to 17, most likely 14 to 18 perhaps. And this is the brands that they recognize the most. Now, Fletch, leave this up there so people can see this for a while. Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma, Clemson, 1 through 5. No doubt Alabama, Ohio State, 1-2. Then you've got LSU, Texas A&M, Texas still up there, Oregon, and Miami. I thought it was interesting that Miami was number 10 on this list because Miami hasn't been any good since 2002.
Great weather, though.
Absolutely.
Right.
But they are the highest-ranked Florida team. Then you go Florida, Notre Dame at 12, the most storied program in all of college football for many of us, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Is 12th on this list. Penn State, North Carolina, Ole Miss. Look where Michigan is, guys. 16.
Yeah.
But blasphemous. That's not blasphemous. And we say it all the time because these players who are playing high school football right now in 2004 weren't even born yet.
Yeah.
Or if they were born, they were 1.
What have you done for me lately?
And that's exactly it. You can't go 17 years without winning a championship in the conference. Florida State is up there. Tennessee, USC. Look at USC, freaking 19.
They'll be moving up, though.
But they haven't done anything lately. That's why.
3 things I see when I look at
Michigan
this list.
State at 22.
They're lucky to be on this list. Like, they're lucky to be on this list. Wisconsin's not on this list, by the way. Just think
Neither
about
is
that.
Iowa.
Yeah, but at least Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So 3 things I see. Thing 1, I'm circling number 14 because I'm trying to figure out how UNC is on there. Like maybe they're equating it to basketball, and maybe most of these kids play basketball and football.
Look at Maryland. How the hell are they on here?
College football brand.
Yeah, but the kids that are voting in these, they play basketball and football. That's how North Carolina sneaks in there. So North Carolina, they're not paying any football players any cash. So that's one thing. 2, SEC is king. You notice that. Damn near all their schools are on here. And thing 3, you know what it is. You got to win. You look at number 1, 7 national championships in the last 6 national championships in the last 10 years. Ohio State won a national championship 7 years ago, but they're in the playoffs almost every other year. Georgia won last year. Oklahoma's in the playoffs every year. Clemson, 2 national championships, 4 appearances. LSU, they won a national championship, and arguably the greatest team of all time, if you want to go stat-wise, 3 years ago with your boy Ed Ogeron and Texas A&M. They're throwing money at everybody. They got money. Everything's bigger in Texas. That's why Texas is still number 8. 9, they got money. Oregon is Oregon. Everybody likes the uniforms. Everybody likes the color schemes. That's that. And Miami is the one you ask about. I think that's because Miami, their pros still do a hell of a job of selling. The U Part 2, Catholics versus convicts. Miami still gets a ton of content in these kids' faces. The turnover chain. How huge was it when the turnover chain came out in college football? Everybody wanted to do a turnover chain. So then Georgia goes and gets the turnover shoulder pads. So I think that's why you see Miami on here, because no matter that they've sucked, they've done a great job from their pros, still branding it, from ESPN still branding it, and then turnover chains, things like that connected to the community.
Maz, what's your biggest surprise on this list?
Ole Miss up at 15. I don't think Ole Miss should be up there.
Lane Kiffin,
man.
I know. I just don't see them. I just don't see them to be up that high, especially above Michigan. USC. That low shocks me.
But Maz,
Maryland in the top 25. I'm stunned.
Helmets.
Maz, you're 60. These kids are 14 years old. They don't know anything about
Reggie Bush.
They don't know
the
about
Bush
that.
push.
What's Ole Miss?
They got money, and they in the SEC. It's like SEC is king. Like if you look, how many SEC teams you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh man!
Every team in the conference is on here almost. Only team not on here is Vanderbilt and Kentucky.
I counted 9.
All right, skip one.
Did you get Texas in there?
If you take Texas and Oklahoma, they got 11.
That's 11.
There you go.
But who are we talking about? Like, what do kids watch ESPN? I remember when I was younger, when there was only one ESPN channel.
Yeah.
Then there was ESPN Classics, so there was 2. All they talk about on ESPN now is Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC or the SEC. Who's coming to the SEC? Is Alabama king of the SEC? All you hear about in college football is the SEC, and then all you see branding-wise is the SEC. So I can understand if I'm a 14-year-old, I can recognize Ole Miss.
I still can't believe Michigan is that low.
I can.
I would. The helmets.
I thought Notre Dame would be lower, to be honest.
No
with
way.
You, because
They should be higher.
How long do you need to wake up the echoes?
It's still Notre Dame.
But Notre Dame.
But to a 14-year-old.
But Notre Dame's been in the college football playoff 3 times. They were in the national championship.
That's true.
9
You're
years
right.
ago.
You're right. I take that back.
That gold helmet sticks out.
Say less.
I will.
Say less.
My brother. My brother from another.
But yeah, I thought this was as interesting as it comes.
It still is interesting.
Those are going to change too. USC will move into the top 10 after next year. You could bank on that.
Michigan might. I tell you what. If Michigan can do what we believe they're going to do and go 12-0, obviously they can. If we think it, Michigan will jump from 16 to 10.
I hope so.
Fast.
Yeah, 100%. Michigan can jump from 16 to 10 if they do what we think they're going to do.
This is kids voting.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
They're the ones going to school now.
Mario puts out maybe UNC because of the Jordan connection. Jordan brand.
Damn good. That's a good
potentially.
Call. That's a good call.
So
maybe
there you
there's
go.
some LT fans out there.
Michigan wears Jordan too.
That's right. They do. They were the first football team to wear Jordans. Guys, I want to jump back to the NFL next. Some contract news. Braylon DK Metcalf got paid 3 years, $72 million. Wide receivers are getting paid in the league.
I missed my window, man. I'm so mad. I missed my window.
But it's all good. We'll talk about that next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. An award-winning haircut experience. Register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new Field House. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Odds Trader.
SportsCenter.com is the number one site for your game day bets. Play-by-play updates, live scores, the best price for every game. Guess what? By multiple sports books. That means the favorite players that you love, the favorite teams that you love, the guys you want to compete against, your rivals, the parlays that you want to make, the overs, unders, everything you want to do. The best place to do it is OddsTrader.com, because simply put, OddsTrader is the best.
The best.
OddsTrader.
OddsTrader. Hey, Bray, I think every former professional athlete says it.
Okay.
Whether you're a baseball player in the 80s and you see these players getting $400 million now, or whether you're a wide receiver in the 2000s and you see these wide receivers getting paid.
Yes.
3 years, $72 million for DK Metcalf. I mean, if you played today, sorry to do this to you on a Friday, but if you played today,
I don't play the what if game to a certain extent, because I love my career. It was fun. It was ups and downs, and valleys and peaks. I got a chance to go to 2 AFC Championship games and lose, but go. But I do this. Most of these guys are re-upping after their third year. Like, most of these guys are getting to year 3, they're finishing year 3, and then they're re-upping, right? Well, we all know what year 3 was for me. It was 16 tuds, so I would have got paid. But I love it, though. Guys, they're getting their just due. Like, these quarterbacks, they're amazing. They're as good as they are. The Justin Herberts of the world, the Joe Burrows of the world, Patrick Mahomes of the world. Like, these guys are insanely talented now. But guess what? They're throwing to insanely talented wideouts. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl. Well, guess what? Tyreek Hill was a monster. Justin Herbert on the other side, Kenny Allen, the list goes on. Aaron Rodgers, he's paying $50 million a year. Well, Devontae Adams was a wide receiver for the last 4 years. So they're getting the just due that they deserve. So I love it. I'm happy for them.
Do you believe this kid is 24? He's going to be a free agent again at 27?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Wow. $30 million bonus, the most ever by a receiver. Gee, I love DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
First of all, I love him.
And good
I bet you he wishes Russell Wilson was still there.
I think it's crazy. At this point, I don't think he cares with all that money. But it's interesting that a lot of times the guys that are getting paid the most that set the mark aren't the best wide receivers or are the best players. A lot of times, I guess they start the bar. Remember, Matt Stafford was the highest paid quarterback, like when the deal came out and everybody went through the roof and it was like, holy smokes and jeans. And then about 2 weeks later, like everybody else caught up, and he went from 1 to 6. I think that's what you'll see here, because right now, DK Metcalf ain't the best wide receiver in the NFL. Now, he's damn good, and he can be in the conversation 10. I will give him somewhere between that 7 to 10 or maybe 8 to 11. But it's going to change. It's going to happen. I just hope it never bottoms out.
And good for these players, too, these wide receivers that are starting to get paid. DK Metcalf, now, he was at camp but not participating until he got the contract. He got the contract. Deebo Samuel, Derwin James at camp but not practicing. They want new contracts. Look, this is a business. I used to be on the side of the team.
Right.
The older I get, the more business savvy I get. I am now on the side of the players, because this is business. It's not personal. It's not personal at all. And, you took a guy like Ben Roethlisberger earlier in the week who said, when I first came into the league, the players, we were all about the team. And now the players are about me. And he has since walked back that comment, but he said the comment originally.
Yeah.
And I think that's so critically unfair for players that have already gotten paid. For Ben Roethlisberger, who didn't have to ask to get paid. The team comes to you with the contract. Here's your $100 million, Ben. So, but when the next guy wants his just due, then people like Roethlisberger call him selfish.
You know what, Gray, before you go, because I'm going to play right into what you're going to say. Ben also said he thinks Deontay Johnson is one of the best wide receivers in the game, and he deserves to be paid. And he says, I hope they pay him. Because what do you say about the Steelers?
Oh, man, they don't pay anybody. They only play quarterbacks. They only play quarterbacks and maybe one defensive player. 100%, and that goes along with what I'm saying. First of all, why is it always the black guys got to ask for the money? Why is it the black quarterbacks, the black receivers, then they ask, and then they're the selfish guys? I know you always say I do one. I got to do one a day. I got to do one a day.
It does seem to be right, though.
But I'm I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I'm just saying. I don't hear Justin Herbert begging for money or Josh Allen or
I gotta do one.
I don't hear those guys. I don't hear Cooper Kupp begging for money.
Great.
I didn't hear Stafford have to ask for money. No, but what the thing is Ben Roethlisberger never had to ask to get paid. Like you already, and we talked about this. They came to him. They said, "Hey Ben, you're the face of the franchise. You're our quarterback, and the damn good quarterback that I'm not hating on Ben. I don't like him, but that don't mean I don't like his skill. That skill that he had. So if they're coming to you and they're paying you, your process is much different than another guy. Like, and that's why he pushed all his teammates away with the Le'Veon Bell situation. They weren't coming to giving Le'Veon Bell the money they owed him. So Le'Veon Bell said, well, damn, if Ben's not going to have my back, I mean, I got to say something. AB, the same situation. So you just want, like Ben just said about Deontay Johnson, have the quarterback come out and have his back. Because with Aaron Rodgers, not one time did Aaron Rodgers say Devontae Adams deserves the same amount of money as me, or he deserves $40 million, or he deserves that. He said, that's my boy, and it'll get figured out. That's my guy. I hope he's here. I need Devontae Adams. He said everything but this. Pay that man his money.
That's what he said.
All he had to do was give up some of his money.
Play that for me, Sam, one more time. Play that for me one time. Pay that man.
And look, Brady did that more than a number of times.
100%. Like if you lobby for those guys, like I guarantee if you lobby for guys sometime, guys might take pay cuts. Like if you got a guy, let's say Russ was still there, and Russ was like, hey, look, Brian Snyder, because Brian Snyder's the GM for the Seattle Seahawks. Hey, Brian, this is Russ coming to you. Got to have DK Metcalf. I need you to get a deal done. I need you to pay this man. Like, then guys see that you care. Guys see, you know what, this guy's got my back. If somebody comes on the behalf of one of these wide receivers or one of these players and says something like that, and the front office, they listen to him, now guys might be maybe more inclined to say, you know what, I don't need $70 million.
Right.
Maybe I take 66. Maybe I take 64 because I see that you do care about me. I see that this is a priority, and we'll figure it out on the back end, or maybe I can use my voice to get somebody else paid. Derwin James has been a Pro Bowler since he's been there.
Yeah.
Like, why does a man who was called the best safety in the NFL in his second year in the NFL have to ask to be paid money? Like, it behooves me.
Dude, look, Lamar Jackson's in the same spot.
And Lamar says, I don't want to take contract negotiations to the season. I'm going to just take my $23 million, take chances on myself, much like Aaron Judge, who, oh, my God, did he bet on himself, and is he not winning?
Right.
Like, she's like, yo, you know what? I'll just take my $23 million, which is more than enough, because he's thinking about it from this point of view. So I was a broke kid from Florida, from the mud. I now am making $23 million this year on a team that I love to play for. You know what? I'm focused on winning. You guys didn't want to get it done before the season. You know what? The hell with that. I don't have to get it for the season. I want to win right now. I'm making $23 million, more than I've ever seen, more than my family will ever need. But just know, next year, off season,
50.
I'm going. Hey, tag went up.
50.
Hey, tag went up. What about yesterday's price?
Especially when they win the Super Bowl this year, Baltimore.
Ain't today's price.
Yeah. Or at the very least when he's the MVP of the league.
And guess what's going to happen when it happens? They are going to be sick to their stuff.
Yesterday's price was yesterday. Today's price is today.
I just hope he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I pray on it
Don't
every day.
speak
man.
it. Knock on wood. You gotta get that. Gotta get that guy
Linemen don't have
up.
to ask for money. Like when it's time to pay a lineman, they're like, hey, look, we're going to pay this guy because we know we're going to want you to protect our quarterback. So stop making these guys ask to get paid. Just pay them and it won't be a problem.
Hey, I know we don't have a lot of time, but Kyler Murray finally got his way. He stepped up yesterday and kind of called out Arizona, called it an embarrassment because they put that study clause in his contract. And what did they do?
They got rid of it.
They revoked it.
Yep.
And Zion, chubby down in New Orleans, if I could say that because I'm chubby, he's got a clause in his contract as well that he better watch his weight.
Now, I agree with
Otherwise, he's going to watch his wallet.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that one either. Because that's not trying to call me unprofessional. That's not taking shots. That's not taking shots at my professionalism in terms of, come on, you can't put it out here that I don't study when you know I study and you're mad at me and you're being a little bit petty. This is actually the truth. It was like, look, chubby, you got fat. Like, you got fat. Like, this is also protecting Zion. It's protecting him from himself because Zion doing all those windmills when he came back, and everybody like, oh, this looks amazing. I was still looking at the fact that Zion's still floating around 300 doing those windmills. If he comes down the wrong way, that's a stretch fracture. That's a tear.
That's right.
That's a crack. This is protecting him and extending his longevity. So I don't have a problem with that.
Back with Maz's videos of the day next, but first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
That's right, Ryan. 27 locations, more on the way. 2 right here on Woodward, right in our neighborhood. And if you join the Pepper Club, you get the cleanest salons in the D. You get to meet the Chili Pepper girls. And best yet, they save you $5 on unlimited tanning. They'll beat any competitor's deal and more. Hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, it's chilipepperstanning.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Ciabatta's summer salads and hand dip shakes all at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, a chicken cordon bleu, or a sunrise. Ham and cheddar all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with the Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. Don't forget to cool off with a nice hand dip, cookies and cream, or strawberry shake. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Big Boy. Yes, sir. It is Friday. Hopefully everybody is going to have a great weekend. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. We would certainly appreciate it. Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports Network on YouTube. Plenty of fun ahead in the weeks and months ahead here on the network. Braylon, it is that time of the day we like to play Maz's videos of the day.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, you know I always have my idiot of the day, of course, and this one is a beauty. Idiots should not play with matches.
No, they shouldn't.
That's a big ass 5 gallons worth, boys. Initiation sequence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You okay?
Did we just saw somebody die?
No, he's alive.
Did we just witness some...
what in the Duck Dynasty did you
idiot.
watch?
What in the world?
Was that a live look at JPP?
That's
unbelievable. JPP.
Oh my God!
I was just confused. I'm like,
is he dead?
He does know he's on. He's gasolined up too.
Isn't that great?
Oh my God!
I don't even know if it was real, but it was funny.
Nah, that was real.
Oh my God!
That was real.
God.
All right, now this next
they
one.
don't edit stuff in that part of town he's from.
Okay, listen. Watch this next one closely. Now this is a water slide, and you got the lifeguard, whoever the hell's on top of this water slide, trying to get this guy down the flume. I want you to watch when he pushes the guy down. Watch carefully to the right of the flume as he pushes him through. Probably have to show this twice, Fletch. Here we go.
What?
Yep, let it play. Let it play. Say goodbye.
Oh my God, did he die?
He's gone. He gone.
Oh!
He gone.
Oh my God, dude. Whoopee!
He gone.
Jesus. Where is this?
I don't know. Some log flume. Some water flume.
Oh my God.
That kid's in satellite. That kid's in orbit right now.
You want videos? I got videos for you.
Oh my God, this
Man's
is
been on fire with the videos.
This is videos of the day.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, check this out. Now, this is a basketball sequence. Now, this kid's gonna be.
Blow it. You're on fire right
this
now.
kid's gonna be unbelievable.
it.
If I'm the Pistons right now, Troy Weaver,
We're in trouble.
get this kid right now.
Yeah, Trey. He's fouling. Yeah, because my friend's daughter.
What do you think of him?
Five star.
First of all, I offer him a scholarship right now. But that's what I'm talking
Give
about.
him
You guys
5
always
stars.
ask me those questions about how these kids get so good now. Their parents are putting them in the camps. They're watching the videos. They're doing things younger and younger.
Dude, look how
and younger.
short this kid is compared to the other kids.
But hey, guess what? It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
They can't get the ball from him.
They can't
even get near him.
Because his skill set. Like his dad, whoever his dad is, his dad's got him working. I guarantee you that boy is in the bed like this every night. I guarantee you he's doing this every night. I guarantee you he practices this. It's little stuff. Man, that kid right there, that's the future. But they're starting younger and younger and younger. But how young is too young, though?
His dad's got to be a baller, a basketball player.
Collectively, this has been the best videos of the day I've
Thanks,
seen.
buddy.
Yeah, it was.
Got another one for you.
Okay.
We go from one extreme to the other. I
Okay.
showed you a young kid. Now I'm going to show you a 95-year-old woman taking batting practice.
Oh, God.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We got Mary. Mary's the ringer.
She's 95, boys.
Got to be a Sox fan.
She is. But look at her, man. She's 95.
Right back to the mound.
She's 95.
Oh, she
got
ain't
good
taking
eye.
that.
She got good eye.
Come
She
on.
ain't
Come on,
taking
Mary.
that. Come on, Mary.
Now, when you say Mary, you talking about Jesus, Mom?
Come on, Mary.
Sister Mary. Mother Mary.
Is that Mary Magdalene?
Mother Teresa. Mary Magdalene. All the saints and martyrs. Good job, Mary.
All right, Mary.
Good job. Man.
Even though she's a Red Sox fan, I had to show it to her.
Very good.
I got it, too. And the one last one, I got a young Derrick Henry to show you. A young up-and-coming
Henry.
Derrick Henry. This is a quickie. This is like 4 seconds.
You and the quickies.
Here he is.
Oh.
Oh!
Low man wins.
Oh!
Poor
Hey.
guy.
How sweet is that?
That's why I said there needs to be an age limit on when kids start playing football. Because everybody's like, oh, they're so young and they're so sweet. No, because that little boy's helmet hit that little boy's helmet and it moved and it wiggled and it hit. That is how you get CTE.
Yeah.
Man, that's too young to have them contacts,
with
especially
you.
like that.
Maz, we're going to miss you next week, buddy.
Thanks,
Enjoy
guys.
your trip to Mount Rushmore.
Carry on.
Tell Honest Dave I said hello.
I will.
Give George W. George Washington.
Tell
that is.
Theodore he shouldn't have ran for that third term.
Yeah, what's up, Teddy?
Tough break for Teddy.
Come on, Teddy.
Rough Rider.
He created his own party.
He did.
There you
He
go.
created his own party.
Tell TJ I said what up, too.
Tommy
TJ.
Jeff.
Yeah, Tommy
Hey,
Jeff.
TJ like the women's.
That's what it's the women's, man.
It's
all right,
women's.
hey, thanks
I'm going
everybody.
to Field of Dreams too.
Yeah. Hey,
man,
good for you. Thanks to everybody who watched this week. Share the show with all your friends if you could. That'd be fantastic stuff. Bray, get us out of here.
Coming up on a year here at the Bottom Line, Woodward Sports, man. We just appreciate you guys. You guys have been there on the journey day in and day out. We appreciate you. We couldn't do it without you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep getting better, and keep getting better because football season started, and you know that is the best time of the year. From my man Flannel Sam Fletch to my right, Uncle Maz on the couch. Be safe on your journeys, my friends. I love you. And my brother to the left, from another mother, Ryan Ermanni. We are the Bottom Line.
Oh my God! Side, Jay, in the front. Oh my God!